Welcome back. Hamas's horrific attacks, the invasion of southern Israel now being compared to 9/11, being called Israel's 9/11. Questions raised over a massive intelligence failure that has seen at least 900 Israelis killed, including 11 Americans, and many, many more wounded. The worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust is what we saw on Saturday. Soldiers, civilians, women, children, even the elderly taken captive, murdered, many dragged back to Gaza. More than 100 Israelis have been taken as hostages. New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani joins us tonight. Sir, it's good to have you on. You led this city, you led this country through one of our darkest hours, imposed on us by these same despicable fanatics. Yep. How do we rid the world of Islamist hate? It is so scary.
I don't know, by not having Obama or Biden ever in the presidency. That would help a lot, because we were doing a pretty good job of eliminating them. Yeah. And then Trump, after Obama built up ISIS and gave billions in cash to Iran, which I think is treason, Trump did a really good job of having to defeat them again. And they're back. There's a sick, evil attachment between the high levels of the Democratic Party, particularly Iran. This whole discussion of the money, Rob, is really ridiculous. It's not the money, it's the giving of the money that's the significant act of foreign policy. You're giving $5 billion, $6 billion to a country that is dedicated to eliminating your best friend. Well, it has to say that's not your best friend. Bibi's not dumb. No. Bibi knows when we give $5 or $6 billion to Iran, he really can't count on us, and he can't count on us. We have been for the last, for the Obama years and the Biden years, much more pro-Iranian than pro-Israeli or pro-Saudi. We have an evil attachment to the reign of terror. Now, this regime is completely despicable, and they're running the show. And also the idea to call this Hamas's war. This is the Palestinian Authority's war. And the idea of your guest, who I have great respect for, but to say that, most Palestinians don't agree with this, that's kind of infantile. Yeah. And obviously indicates you've never been there. I've been there a lot. Most Palestinians agree with this. They're taught this in school. They may not even have a chance to not believe it. Yeah, they are completely propagandized. Yeah. I don't know. It's a 90% proposition that they want to kill Jews, and they don't mind killing Americans either. So we have a mortal enemy here. The whole idea, going back to Jim Baker and Bill Clinton, to make them a state is anti our best interest.
Let me play this, Mayor. Let me play this real quick. This is the IDF minister. This is the guy that's in charge of the defense. Listen to this for a second.
אנחנו מטילים מצור מוחלט על העיר עזה. אין חשמל, אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. הכל סגור. אנחנו נלחמים בחיות אדם ואנחנו נוהגים בהתאם.
It's something to hear that. I mean, you had to read it, but I mean, it's to hear him say we're fighting human animals, and I mean, to hear that strength. You don't hear that kind of strength in the West anymore. That impressed me.
Well, when I got this message during the Obama administration, and I visited Israel at one point about 4 times a year because I had several businesses there for about a 10-year period, and I've been a close personal friend of Bibi and Ehud Olmert for 35 years. So I kind of know this from the inside. And I remember asking a very high-level Israeli under Obama, it must be tough not knowing whether the American president's not on your side, because at least you always knew the American president was there, even when we had differences.
Right.
He said, no, it's easier than you think, Rudy. I know he's on the other side.
Yeah.
And that is the simple truth.
Yeah.
You do not give billions of dollars in cash to a country that supports terrorists without knowing they're going to give that money to terrorists.
I think you're
what the hell
exactly
does that say?
Right. Yeah, our ideological
that say?
suicide, it began under Obama, and it's continuing on. I mean, he took control of the left, and it was the end of this country in a lot of ways. I believe that as well. Mayor Giuliani, we thank you so much for coming on, as always. Thank you, sir.
God bless Israel and God bless America.